Welcome back to Tyson's Tennis Tips and Wimbledon Daily. We are at day 8, women's quarter-final stages at SW19, and we're going to start off by giving our match of the day at quarter-final stage at SW19. And Jaya, what are we going for?
I'm going to go for a big match. It's Jabeur versus Sabalenka. We've seen that beautiful run that Jabeur has created at Wimbledon this year. I think her game is really well suited to the grass. I mean, we don't see too many players like this, but the way she just slices the ball, has great variation in the game, can bring her opponents into the net on her terms and then pass them as well, it's been remarkable. And we know how not many people on the tour actually have brilliant volleys, and she's making the most of it. She's bringing them into the net, putting them on the back foot, and then either lobbing them or passing them. That's so well suited to the slightly slower grass courts at SW19. So it's going to be a good match.
Absolutely, Jai. And Niels, Jabeur, she's been a player that you have backed relentlessly through the tournament so far, and she's just come up every time you've backed her. She's managed to pull through. She's been a brilliant player, like Jaya was saying. Are you backing her to win the quarterfinal?
I'm going to have to say Jabeur. I'm a loyal man, Sam. I'm going to stick with Jabeur. Even though Sabalenka, I watched her yesterday, she is incredible. She has got so much power in her strokes. I mean, she is number 4 in the world, you know. She is there for a reason. So she's an incredible player, big serve, big game all in all, and just really sort of intimidating when she comes on court. But Jabeur is just playing brilliant at the moment. The tennis she's playing is just, you know, everything she touches turns to gold. And at the moment, that is a run where you have that one run, you know, so where you're just on fire and nothing comes in your mind and everything's working. So I'm going to have to say Jabeur in 3.
Jaya, score prediction for our first women's quarterfinal that kicks off on centre court.
Well, I'm going to have to be controversial. I'm sorry, Niels, but I'm going to go with Sabalenka in 3 sets. I absolutely love Jabeur. I think she's an amazing player. But like you said, Niels, I was going to say exactly the same thing. Sabalenka is an intimidating player and someone you don't want to see down the other side of the net. And like you said as well, she's got immense power. And I just don't think Jabeur is going to have quite enough in the tank to take on a player of Sabalenka's ability. But it's going to be a good match, and I see it going the distance.
I'm going to go Jabeur in 3 sets is my prediction for that first women's quarter-final. And don't forget, that match should start around 3 o'clock. We've got Hurkacz against Medvedev finishing off that match. Quick word on that men's last 16 match, guys. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? Medvedev obviously is currently ahead 2-1. We're sort of halfway through the 4th set. Niels, coming to you first. Score prediction for that one?
I think Medvedev's going to finish you off. I think Hurkacz had the chance yesterday. I think he was in good form, but with Medvedev, you have to be very, very careful. He is sneaky, he's tricky. He's number 2 in the world, again, for a reason. He knows what it takes to win the big points and win the big matches. And for him, he's just mentally a monster, you know. He's on the same lines as Djokovic. He knows what it takes to win a big match. And I think for me, Hurkacz is a little bit too fresh, so to speak. You know, he's never really been to that stage in a Grand Slam. He doesn't really know what it takes yet. Whereas Medvedev, you know, Medvedev kind of wants to move forward. He wants to play with the big boys. He wants to play a Djokovic, a Federer, and see what he's made of. So I see Medvedev winning this last set.
Jaya, thoughts on that match just quickly?
I totally agree with Niels on everything you said, though. I think it's a tough place to come back to at 3-4. So I think Medvedev's definitely going to get the quickest start. He's used to playing in these latter stage tournaments. And yeah, like you said, Niels, I think Hurkacz is a bit too fresh, a bit too new to the scene. And one early break and the set's over. And I think it's going to be in Medvedev's hands pretty quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you guys there. I think Medvedev's going to have too much for Hurkacz, and I'm going to back him in 4 sets. Moving on to the second women's quarterfinal. This one also on centre court following the first match that we just mentioned. So we're moving on. Barty Tomljanovic. Niels, thoughts on that match?
Tomljanovic, she played really well against Jelena Ostapenko. She beat Emma Raducanu because Emma Raducanu, who is the teen sensation, who is a rising star of Wimbledon, retired sadly. I'm going to have to say Barty in 2. Barty is just the overwhelming number 1 in the world. She's got that slice, which is so dangerous, and just, you don't see that really in the women's game that much. She's very diverse. Obviously, Barty's a very good doubles player as well. Tomljanovic has been there for quite a long time now. She's had over 13, 14 seasons. You know, so she knows what it is to play on the ATP tour. She knows the routine. She knows, what it's all about. But I think Barty's just going to be too much for her. Barty is just number 1 in the world. and for good reason. So Barty in 2 for me, Sam.
Great prediction there, Niels. I think I'm going to agree with you on that one. Jaya, score prediction for our second women's quarter-final at Wimbledon.
I'm going to go into detail this time. I'm going to say Barty is going to win at 6-3, 6-4, straight sets.
Straight sets. There you go. Heard it there first. Okay, I think we're all back in Barty. She has looked fantastic this tournament. And as I say, if I could redo my women's prediction for the outright for Wimbledon, I think I'd be backing her. Coco Gauff, unfortunately, narrowly went out yesterday to Pliskova. So yeah, I think she looks very strong and a real favourite to take the crown at Wimbledon this year. Okay, moving on, court 1 now. This match kicking off around 1 p.m. Okay, we've got Pliskova, Golubic. Jaya, coming to you first. Prediction for that one, third quarter-final.
Yeah, Pliskova, obviously we know how big her serve is, how big her game is from the baseline. If Golubic is going to have any chance in that match, she's got to keep it diverse, as Neil said on many times. I think it's so true. She's got to bring her into the net, make her feel uncomfortable. But I think Pliskova is going to get the final say, and I see her getting the job done in straight sets as well.
Niels, prediction for that one?
I think Jaya hit the nail right on the head there. I'm going to have to agree with Jaya with everything he said. Just Pliskova is quite a sort of, she's a big caliber player. She knows what it takes to win as well, She's a big player. She's ranked top 10 in the world, and for good reason as well, again. At the end of the day, rankings don't lie. You do get to a ranking for a certain reason. I'm going to have to agree with Jaya. I'm going to say straight sets. I think she's going to get the job done quite fast.
Yeah, I'm with you there, boys. Straight set win in 2 sets. Yeah, for Pliskova, I think, on that one. We're moving on now to our final women's quarter-final. Again, this match on court 1, which will be starting after that match that we just mentioned, around sort of 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon today. So, Neil's going to come to you first on this one. Muchova versus Kerber. Thoughts on that match and a score prediction?
Muchova versus Kerber. I mean, Kerber is like a wall. She is just physically so impressive. She just gets every single ball back. And for me, I think Muchova is already thinking, and probably went to sleep yesterday, so scared, going, I have to play Angelique Kerber. So I think I think Kerber to take it in 3, just because she wants it so bad. And she was a bit forgotten, so to speak, in the last year. Not had the greatest of seasons, but now she is in the quarterfinals. And she is playing well, and she wants it bad. So I think Kerber in 3 for me, Sam.
Good stuff. And Jaya, have you got a prediction for our final women's quarter-final?
Again, I'm right with Niels there. I think Kerber wants it so bad. Obviously, I said before, I watched Kerber play last week, and she's playing really well. And she hasn't been at this stage for a while, but once she gets to this stage, which she's at the moment, she's got the experience. She has that know-how to get from the quarterfinals to the finals in a Grand Slam. And Muchova, obviously, a slightly lesser-known player. I think Kerber's going to have the edge, but I do see it going the distance as well, and I see Kerber winning in 3.
Yeah, I agree with you guys there. We're agreeing a lot today on the podcast. This is a bit unusual. I'm not sure what we've all had for breakfast today. Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you guys. I think Kerber is going to get the job done. I'm going to go Kerber in 2 sets. I think sometimes the underdog, and when you get to the quarterfinals, they can sometimes get a little bit phased by the occasion. And the players who have been there before, I think, are going to have the edge. So, yeah, for me, Kerber in 2 sets for that one. So, there you go. We've got our 4 matches. We've obviously got that men's last 16 match as well to finish off. It's another busy day at Wimbledon on day 8. Tomorrow, we are back for the men's quarterfinals. And have we got some matches for you tomorrow? It's going to be a thriller. So we're really looking forward to that as the second week progresses through and we head towards the finals weekend as well. That is it for today. We will be back tomorrow for day 9, the men's quarterfinals. And for now, enjoy all the tennis at SW19. We'll see you soon.